Hello and welcome to the Death Battle Cast. Hey everybody, we've got a pretty cool episode today, I think, with a pretty cool matchup. We'll see how that goes. It's Dragon time.
We haven't wanted to do this one for years.
No, not at all.
Lame ass shit.
Well, this is one that we saw on the Death Battle ballot suggestions when we were doing the poll or getting suggestions for the champion poll. And it's one that we've always been interested in doing, to be frank. So very excited to be talking about it in this Death Battle cast. It is going to be King Ghidorah versus Deathwing. Before we get into it, I do want to say, hey, thank you everybody for supporting Death Battle throughout 2022. We've had a kick-ass year with some really cool episodes, I think. And getting into this year, we are already in production for season 10 of Death Battle. Seasons weren't supposed to be seasons. They aren't like annual like they are typically now. We've been doing this for quite a while. So very excited to get into that. If you did not see it, we did announce that 2 matchups for next year will be the winners from the champion polls. There will be a 2D fight, which is, based on your votes, going to be Bill Cipher versus Discord. That's Gravity Falls versus My Little Pony, which is going to be interesting to dive into again. And then the 3D fight. Wild. The 3D fight that you guys voted on is going to be, I mean, all the votes are close, but this one's going to be Cole McGrath from Infamous versus Alex Mercer. Mercy.
We were going to do a joke where we were going to announce it with the thumbnail of Cole from the most recent Mortal Kombat movie, live action movie, versus Alex from Street Fighter 3. Be like, you guys kept asking for it. I don't know why, but okay, it makes sense.
I don't know why you want this one, Alex. Yeah. Alex, not from, the Alex specifically from Prototype. Yeah. Which, oh boy, that's one we've seen for many, many years.
Yeah, we should do Oro in a death battle. Sorry, I'm all amped up off third strike. So, like,
yes, we were at MagFest. It was great seeing you guys. Those of you who came to MagFest.
Yeah.
Thank you for attending our panels or watching them online. I honestly did not even know they were going to be streaming.
I didn't know they were streamed either. So otherwise we would have given you that information.
Yeah, I found out in the after our first panel. So in the tweet the next day I mentioned it. Yeah, so thank you to everybody who figured that out before us and actually watched our streams online. Next year, we hope to be at MagFest again, and we were kind of a later edition this year, so we'll hopefully be able to have a earlier sort of announcement for it. But either way, MagFest was awesome.
It's great. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was so this whole cast talking about it, so we won't.
We really could.
Giving me massive FOMO here.
We won the Celebrity Versus.
Dude. It's like my favorite
convention. But with all that being said, we have a community death battle to get to. Hey, I'm Ben, the voice of Wiz, joined by Chad, voice of Boomstick, as usual. What's up, Chad? Joined by Liam.
Hello.
That guy.
Everybody.
Words.
And then it's also Embu. He's back.
Hey.
And
Liam's back in his room.
My wonderful room with its bare white walls, except for some posters, which I'm thinking of getting replaced. I want to get something else. I want to put something else on the walls.
New year, new posters, right?
Right, exactly. I think so. The Vertigo has been up there for a while. Yeah.
Well, poster hanging stream.
Let's do it.
Membership content.
Let's have a
most boring thing ever. Let's watch Liam put up posters.
Membership content.
So, King Ghidorah or Ghidorah or Ghidra or however the hell you want to say his name versus Deathwing from the World of Warcraft. I will be arguing for Ghidorah. Chad will be arguing for Deathwing. It's our job to convince the jury who would win in a death battle. The jury consists of 3 seats: Liam, Embu, and you all watching this live at home right now. Again, we do this every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central. So thank you everybody who's in the chat, seeing a bunch of membership badges going up. We have all sorts of colors: black, red, silver, copper, bronze. Everybody's here. It's awesome. All right, so you all will be able to get to vote later on in the show and determine who actually wins. Okay, you guys ready to do this?
Hell yeah!
I was born ready
Big
for a
dragon fight.
Absolutely.
These I don't really know how this is gonna go. So
I think
everybody.
I think a dragon's gonna win.
Perfect.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it doesn't drag on.
I think Ghidorah will win.
Wow. Okay.
Gonna,
just right
gonna
off the
dispel
bat.
with all of the.
Don't even say that. Your
jokes.
opinion has so much weight.
Well,
Y'all don't even. Deathwing's fucking
People vote
ridiculous.
against me.
Let me go ahead and get started then.
Negative weight.
I'll have 60 seconds on the clock to tell you why Liam is correct.
Incorrect.
Ghidorah is going to win. Let's do this. Okay. Ghidorah is the most powerful monster in the Godzilla verse. Godzilla, of course, is able to kind of keep up with him and defeat him in many cases. But generally speaking, Ghidorah is always more powerful than him, and Godzilla needs some kind of power up. This is really important because a lot of these monsters are planet ravaging creatures. And there are many stories, many movies and comics and whatnot where a single monster or a group of monsters are going to just obliterate all life on the planet. And Ghidorah trounces all of them. He flies through space. He's an alien, can fly between planets in seconds, and has already been destroying hundreds of planets, depending on the iteration of Ghidorah. I'll get into that later on after this. But depending on the version, he has destroyed potentially hundreds of planets, absorbed their energy, and in some iterations, he's even a god. What's Deathwing gonna do?
Hey, what a cliffhanger to leave us on.
I tried to drink some of my tea, and then the part of it started to break off into the tea. So I'm not going to drink it because I don't want to drink porcelain dust. Just wanted to throw that out there. I'm a little bummed, but I still think Ghidorah probably takes it. But I'm interested to hear what Chad has to say about that.
Are you scared of porcelain?
Fuck this! I'm out. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Chad, 60 seconds uninterrupted.
All right, let's do it. Neltharion, the Earth Warder, one of the original dragon aspects, who is tasked with the caretaker of continents. He raised mountains, created rivers. Basically, in the beginning, was like, I'm gonna make life great on the planet. And then the old gods started to whisper to him, as they like to do, and made him go a little crazy and get a little bit betray. Which then caused him to basically trick the other dragon aspects. He created an amulet called the Dragon Soul, which later would be known as the Demon Soul, tricked the other dragon aspects into putting their power into it, saying that he'd be putting his power in too. It's kind of like a Lord of the Rings thing. And then to fund up a bunch of demons. Surprise, he didn't put any of his power and created this like crazy huge, oh man, I'm running out of time. This is gonna take forever. Incredibly powerful amulet that he can pretty much wipe out armies in a single blast. He can raise and destroy continents, mountains, floods, volcanoes. His wings trail fire and smoke and destruction across. His very presence destroys the land. Damn it, we're running out of time. And he's about from what I can tell.
That's
see.
That's it, Chad. You can't. That's it. That's all. That's your entire argument.
I got too into the lore real quick, trying to give you some backstory.
All right. I mean, there's a lot.
We're gonna talk about.
We've got a few things going on with these characters that are a few hoops to jump through in terms of lore. Ghidorah has obviously there's like a dozen different versions, maybe not. There's at least like 8 or so different versions of Ghidorah to pick from and figure out which one we're actually talking about. Some of them are pretty similar. Some of them are drastically different. And then Deathwing has all of Warcraft lore going on. So Chad, go ahead and keep going and get to what you were kind of leading up to.
So long story short, he created this incredibly powerful amulet, which amplified his already insane power, where he could literally, at one point, he immobilized all dragons around him, wiped out, races, and just is, absolutely ludicrously powerful. Has control over all of the earth. He, just in his awakening, when he decided to come back and, go fuck with the world, he, literally just sent it just destroyed continents, had tidal waves coming in, and that was just with his just thought and magic. He is filled with so much power that he literally had to have elementium plates be grafted to him to not only protect him even further, but also just literally hold him together because he contains so much power. His very blood and immune system is sentient and aggressive and powerful on its own. Little globules of his blood can release a nuclear blast. He is a absolute like god among dragons. He is the dragon of dragons. In order to defeat him, it took like millions of heroes from the entire world rising up against him, along with the power of like Thrall wielding the amulet that he created, Deathwing created, as well as the other aspects of the Dragonflight to take him down. It took the world plus his own magic to defeat him. So we've got a lot we're working with here.
So, yeah, so Deathwing, is Deathwing a person? That's a thing, right?
What's up? Yeah, he's Neltharion. Dragons can be like, this is my human form. This is me, dragon. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, big mean dragon. Gotcha. I don't know though, because I mean, Ghidorah just nukes planets all the time. That's like Ghidorah is literally a living planet destroyer. The very first time we ever meet him, there's a character who shows up who's like, I'm from Venus, and the reason why Venus is so fucked up is because of this guy. It used to be like a thriving civilization, and then Ghidorah showed up, and in a single day turned it into what it is, just a horrible ball of fire and heat and devastation.
This man's glassing planets in a day.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, so Deathwing can destroy a planet not in a day, but quicker. Like he could like with a spell, like not just like immediately like a thought or anything like that, but like I don't know, it'd take him like a minute maybe. Because here's the thing, Deathwing doesn't want to destroy he wants to fuck up the world. He doesn't want to destroy it. His whole thing is like he wants to like make people suffer, destroy most life, because he wants to carve out a little place for him so that he can keep creating his Dragonflight. And also banging these two other dragons. It's a whole thing. So
you're talking about the Cataclysm, right?
Well, the Cataclysm was when he was like destroying. That's when he just got pissed off and was like, I'm coming back and like, yeah, fuck everything. But when you actually like fight him and defeat him, one of the things he's doing is he starts to be like, all right, screw it, I'll destroy the world. Like, and starts like casting the spell to like destroy the world, and you stop it. So he just didn't want to up until that point, but when he knows he was in trouble, he's like, all right, fuck it.
Like, it's a spell?
It's his magic. It just takes a second. I think it's literally called Cataclysm.
Could he shoot a beam out of his mouth and like blow up a planet like a Dragon Ball character?
I don't think so.
He needs this spell.
It's his magic.
It's as much of a spell as like Dragon Ball characters' key is like their abilities. Is that what you're saying?
It's a cast bar. That's the best way I can describe it.
Okay. Right, but he can't like just point his face, like he can't freeze it and just shoot a beam down and blow up a planet.
No, because I don't know. All his stuff is just like he literally just like look like volcano there, rip a continent apart here, like.
Okay.
So I think it's just focus, intense focus, and then his magic makes it because he has control over Earth, all like Earth in general.
How fast is he?
No clue, to be honest with you.
Okay. He'd be faster than Lich King, right?
There was a
fast to Lich King, right?
He
Hold
would,
on.
I
would massively
hypersonic.
I remember this because he flew from continent, moved from Stormwind to Blackrock in 30 seconds, and they're like 1,500 kilometers apart. So,
can I throw in anything here? Or
you can.
Ben, you want to?
I was still going to touch on the power thing because I do see some people in the chat talking about like King Ghidorah is supposed to be able to destroy like Uru Kusanagi. King Ghidorah has been claimed to destroy planets, but we have no idea how long, how small, or if the planets are just inhospitable. So we do know how long. We do know that it took a day for Venus to be glassed. We also know that was actually the intention, because that version of Ghidorah was being controlled by an alien species that was trying to basically terraform planets. So that Ghidorah was not explicitly trying to just blow up the planet. It was explicitly trying to turn it into something else. And it went, I guess it went way too far. The movie never really explains why the aliens aren't there. Because actually, it's sort of a retcon. It's in the next film that they're like, oh, actually, Ghidorah's been under their control the whole time. So this is important because later on, it's sort of established throughout pretty much every iteration of Godzilla that these monsters reach a point where they can just blow up a fucking planet. Like, it just can happen. The whole point of the one word Destroya. Destroya is the villain. That monster is that one of the main plots of that is Godzilla, the nuclear reactor inside of him, is going to blow up and kill the whole planet. It's going to destroy everything.
Mothra was able to divert a meteor in the past that was going to blow up the Earth. Yes. So that would be just straight up planet busting, and that's Mothra, who is like a friendly. I mean, she's really powerful and like comparable to Ghidorah, but I definitely say Ghidorah is more powerful than she is.
Pure strength-wise, pure power-wise, Mothra is not quite on the same level. There's a specific comparison where she tries to lift up Godzilla at one point and fails, and then Rodan does it in like I think the very next movie and succeeds. So like Mothra is a like almost celestial being compared to a lot of them, but she's not the physical powerhouse.
If she couldn't lift Godzilla, does that mean that Godzilla is thicker than a planet? are those Godzilla thighs?
Yeah,
planet level.
You know, when you get into like the Heisei era, and he's just got those real thick thighs.
He's got those absolute thunder thighs.
It is crazy.
Civilizations could rise and fall on those thighs.
Look up Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. They specifically made his like bottom half wider to give him a more
fucking fat.
Supposedly it's because they wanted to give him a more maternal look because like there's a child Godzilla in that one as well. But
okay.
I don't know why the fuck they went that direction, because it just looks like he's very bottom heavy and like stumbling around.
I remember that.
We call it Muffin Topzilla. No,
it's wild. And then he kind of still looked that way the whole rest of that era, I think.
I'll also add on. Sorry, Chad. I'm sorry, but I like talking about Godzilla stuff. I'll also add on that. Remember, I forget what movie this is, but there's one movie, and it was mentioned in the Godzilla versus Gamera episode where Godzilla tanks a blast that destroyed a city, and that was like the big factor that determined his win in that episode. Turns out that blast was from an actual like gravity created black hole. The reason it didn't destroy the planet is because he took the hit for Earth. So that's another like really big planet.
Are you talking about Final Wars?
No, it's like it's a black hole that takes place during daytime. Hang on. Let me try.
Okay.
It's called the Dimension Tide.
Godzilla's definitely been hit by a black hole bomb and got sucked into it and then showed up later.
Oh yeah, Godzilla versus Megaguirus.
Yeah, they hit him with a black hole bomb and he seems to disappear, but then he's just there later. It doesn't explain what the hell happened. In Final Wars, actually, this is great because Ghidorah, so throughout Final Wars, the aliens that show up to Earth are like, hey, Earth. At first, they're like, hey, Earth, there's a giant fucking meteor that's about to hit your planet, and when it hits, you're all dead. It is going to destroy the entire world. Turns out that meteor is Ghidorah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't destroy the planet because it hits Godzilla instead.
He stops with his beam, I think.
He stops with its beam and then it hits him dead on, straight on. The craters around him. And this is consistent with previous Ghidorahs. And even though this is the Kaiser Ghidorah, it's like a different Ghidorah. The way Ghidorah travels between planets is he turns into a meteor. It's not. It's weird.
I've seen clips from movies where he's just flying on strings. Like him and Gigan.
I mean, they don't care about the consistency. No. Like, why would they care? But sometimes he turns into a meteor and then like burns the meteor away to reveal himself. That's how I think he's first revealed when you first see him.
A couple of you are saying he dodged it. He dodged underground.
The black hole? Oh, that's a theory that he dodged underground. But it looks like it hits him. Either way, Godzilla's survived Also, I don't know how he would have dodged underground. Godzilla doesn't have digging powers.
I don't know. He also come on. Let's just reference the tail kick slide. So like, who knows?
I mean, Godzilla survived like the absolute zero cannon. It did like almost nothing to him, just left a scar. He survived being thrown into space. Like Godzilla is ridiculous. And Ghidorah is generally speaking more powerful than him until Godzilla always gets some sort of power up. It's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Usually it's either like Rodan or Mothra giving him his like life force or whatever for him to like power up. Or some other monster. Or he just calls his friends in, the Avengers, before the Avengers are on screen. Kick the shit out of Ghidorah.
they just stomp on him. It's really mean and uncalled for.
If you guys have not seen Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, classic old school Godzilla movie from the 60s, it is literally just like 30 people in monster suits kicking the shit out of Ghidorah.
That's hilarious.
The MonsterVerse had the Avengers before anybody else. Because technically, a lot of those monsters were their own franchises. Like Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra were all their own franchises. And then they were like, why don't we just bring them together?
A little superhero team up.
Yeah. Either way, Deathwing's fucked.
Dude, well, let me talk about Deathwing's defenses. So he's covered in elementium plates, which elementium is the rarest metal. Yeah, of course, right? And it's basically immune to all sorts of elemental damage. So I'll be interested to hear the type of attacks that he has. If you're able to pry up one of his plates, then his immune system is sentient and it's crazy. So he has multiple different types of things that can happen with a plate. If a plate starts getting pried up, no matter what's going to happen first is these like sentient tendrils are going to shoot up, grab the plate and start pulling it back to reattach it. So you would have to basically, like, if a plate gets pried up, you then have to attack those tendrils very, very, very quickly to prevent them, like, very quickly enough for the plate to then completely fly off, right? And this only happens because he's like, at this time, you're like literally he's flying when he's being attacked by like hordes of people on top of him, right? So theoretically, if the plate's nearby, he could probably reattach it there. So those are grasping tendrils. They also burn and slow anything around them. He's got corruption tentacles that also covers his body that spray his blood onto people, which then poisons them and also absorbs their health. So his blood is also indestructible. So like even if one of these constructs you manage to destroy it then his like the essence of his blood just like creeps back towards him and then reforms the thing to go attack again.
Damn, is he a symbiote?
It's it's basically it's the corruption of the old gods. And the old gods are like the OG, like we created the planet. It's like kind of like Titans, like they got sealed away and they're like constantly like whispering to people like release us. We're like, do this thing for you. Surprise, it was for us. And they've got a lot of power. And then he could also send out these hideous amalgamations, which are these little creatures made from Deathwing's flesh and elementium. I don't know how. But they increase in power the longer they're out, and they can explode. Oh, and the more blood. If there's any like of Deathwing's blood around, they get more powerful. And they can explode with, and it's literally called a nuclear blast. And that's just one tiny little glob of his blood can release apparently a nuclear blast.
What? Okay.
Yeah. And they also infect anything that they touch, causing you to like slowly die. Yep. So that's his immune system.
So, we have a comment. Robert Curley asking, does he have wings like a hurricane? I don't know. Does that ring any bells to you?
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, so he can like, I mean, you see it all the time, like just like he's like leveled like buildings and like cities with like flap of wings, right? But I mean, like that's like Dragon 101, right? I think he has a wing attack in Heroes of the Storm too. Let me see. Yeah, he flaps his wings, which causes damage to anyone around, and then also causes pools of lava to pop up from the ground. Because again, he could just literally he literally just like summon a ring of volcanoes around.
Okay, so he has control over lava and fire or whatever.
Lava, fire, earth, water, like.
Okay, is that specifically tied to the planet, or is that just his power alone? Or is he like accessing some power?
So that's what's interesting, because it's his power is control over the Earth. So it's interpretive, right? Whether that's like just specifically this Earth or all.
Okay, this is interesting. Wait, so I'm going somewhere with this. Is he like tied directly to the planet, and like, is there an energy in the planet that gives him power? Is this some sort of like bio like connection where he's like, I'm connected to you and I use your power with mine? I ask this because Ghidorah, specifically, like his goal in many of his iterations is to destroy a planet to absorb its energy. Like Godzilla absorbs radiation, Ghidorah absorbs planets, basically. Which is why instead of shooting like fire or anything like that, or like Godzilla shoots radiation as his atomic breath, right? Ghidorah's beam is the gravity beam, which has never, as far as I'm aware, been really explained what it is. But it can do a lot of different things. It can blast things just like the atomic blast. It's matched it in power multiple times. It can also like grab things and lift them into the air while like zapping them. It seems to have control over. It's like a force beam. So I don't think it's represented as lightning in a lot of iterations, but I don't think it's actually electricity. It seems more like a force attack. So I don't know if the elemental immunity would necessarily matter there.
I don't know. That one's interpretive. Yeah, I was curious about that.
I don't know. Maybe somebody in chat knows more about the gravity beam. I've never seen any sort of explanation for what it really is. It seems like a force attack that can then grab things and move them around. He does create lightning storms in some iterations, like the more recent like Monsterverse, King of the Monsters. When he appeared, he just summoned like a lightning storm around him. So I think there's some arguments to be made that he uses lightning. I guess there is some connection between like electricity and gravity and whatnot. But either way, he could theoretically just grab Deathwing and throw him into space. Like, does Deathwing need oxygen to survive? I don't know. Well,
I don't know.
While you think about that,
probably not. I mean, the thing is, like, wow, like I was gonna say doesn't fuck with space, but you go to other planets and stuff, but it's always through like a gate of magic, or like, so it's like no one's ever gone up into space.
Well, while we think about that in chat, while you guys think if you can figure out what the gravity beams actually are, let me tell you about our first sponsor for this week's episode, Shady Rays. Yes, Shady Rays.
You don't want to get too close to the sun in space.
See, you got all these great segues. Good job. All right, so this episode is sponsored by Shady Rays. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers world-class products that are just as good as any expensive pair that we've ever seen. Plus, every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. What this means is, if you lose or break your pair of sunglasses from Shady Rays, even on day one, they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked, which is amazing. Not every company is willing to do that. So wear your Shady Rays with confidence, because they have your back after your purchase. If you don't love them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Also, and this is really cool, they provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order, and have donated over 20 meals to date. So look good in your gear while also making an impact. That's like legitimately really awesome. So just for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use the code DBC for 50% off of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. Can attest, I have a couple pairs of Shady Rays. They're really good. You should, if you need a pair of sunglasses, I highly recommend them.
Oh, they're incredible. Right. Mine are in my car right now, and every time I am out and wear them, my friends try and steal them from me. So
a seagull stole more sunglasses when I was a little kid once.
Are you serious?
I'm not even lying. They're Shady Rays.
Well, if they were Shady Rays, then you could have gotten a new pair, even if it was day one.
Yeah, it does specifically say if you lose or break your pair. So if they're stolen by seals.
Yeah. I wanted to comment on something. You talked about those elementium plates, and you have to be really fast in order to remove them. So I think that like speed is probably. I don't know. I'm introducing it like that. Speed is probably going to be important. It's important in every single fight we do. But you mentioned that Deathwing is like massively hypersonic. So Gigan and Ghidorah were able to fly. They're basically aliens, right? Like Ghidorah is generally speaking an alien traditionally. They were able to fly from what is it called? The Nebula M Space Hunter. Oh, yeah, Nebula
really
M
vague.
Space Hunter.
Why the fuck are you coming with facts? Get the hell out of this.
Sorry, they were able to fly from a nebula, which if you were to be like really conservative about it, you could just pick the Orion Nebula. Or whatever. I forget which one the Orion Nebula.
This guy makes me want to side with you, Chad. I feel like I should be helping you.
1,340 light years away. They were able to do it really fast, probably in real time, which was 11 minutes, but we can say like an hour, and that would be like 5 million times the speed of light. Yeah, even if you want to say like Ghidorah like started flying into space and then he turned into his meteor form and then just shot like a straight line and then transformed out of it. Even if you want to say that that's like doesn't apply to his like reaction speed, Gigan doesn't do the same thing. Yeah, and we only see him like flying on his wings, so he'd be really fast. He'd be like faster than
What's so weird when you're talking about the plates, it's like speed to kill them, but then also it's like you like have to pry up a piece. It's like how do I describe it? You just like pry it up and like saw through it. Does that make sense? Because like all the tendrils are like coming up trying to reattach.
Or rip it apart with gravity powers, which can move things telekinetically.
So speaking of that, well,
how's this 2v1 going?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, that's because they need it, because they know Deathwing is so powerful.
I was
drops of his blood are nuclear weapons. No, but anyway.
I wasn't necessarily going to like bring up the exact number, but I did know that he was hundreds, if not thousands of times, if not apparently millions of times faster than light, traveling between the nebula to Earth. Yeah, but far faster than light speed for sure. And I don't think Deathwing's going to be able to keep up with him. Ghidorah has gravity beams that can pull and push and blow up things that can survive planetary explosions, if not more, like Godzilla. So I don't see why he couldn't just use those to rip off those plates. And also, he's got 3 heads, so like, just no. He just gets those heads in there and those jaws in, and can start ripping them apart.
Starts getting bitey. Well, so. One thing I do want to bring up is that Neltharion has actual magic, which is like classic fantasy magic. So like, can like, telekinesis, like all that fun stuff. But he also has mind manipulation. Because we've seen him a couple times throughout lore. So he's like a master tactician, and like he like manipulates societies and things like, and also like, kingdoms to his advantage. So we've seen him do like the classic fantasy thing where like he goes in and then manipulates an entire, like basically mind manipulates an entire court of like nobles and stuff to then make him king, and then he tries to bang the king's daughter. Anyway, so I'm curious, does Ghidorah have any sort of protection against mind control? Because Deathwing can do that for sure.
So I'm not entirely sure how those aliens gain control over him. I do know they didn't have very good control over him because he was more like just ended up destroying things that they didn't necessarily want destroyed, like Venus. That was the Showa era. The aliens in Final Wars, I believe, I could be wrong. Chat, let me know if maybe I'm misremembering this. I believe they tried to mind control him because they were controlling all the other monsters. They were like getting them to attack Godzilla, and they could not because it like destroyed their ship. It specifically redirected Godzilla's it caught Godzilla's atomic beam and like sent it up to the alien ship. I'm pretty sure that happened, and then the Xylans.
Oh, yeah, I do recall that. I don't know the context.
Oh,
I do know.
You're right, Jay Quinn. Yes, they don't actually control him. They can't control him. They can only point him at a target. Yes, in the original one. Yeah, but they were like controlling the other monsters. So yes, he is able to kind of resist that one.
A little bit, but a lot of people are also saying he also gets mind controlled all the time. Like there's been multiple examples, and I see people saying it depends on the version.
The Heisei era one is weird because he's not the alien version of Ghidorah. It's again, this kind of goes back to the idea that like there's 8 or so different versions of Ghidorah. In the Heisei era, he's just a bunch. He's basically just Godzilla. He instead of absorbing planet energy, he's 3 lizards. Because in Heisei, Godzilla is a dinosaur that got mutated into by radiation. Ghidorah is 3 dinosaurs from the future that got hit by radiation and fused together.
They got duct taped together.
Yeah,
radioactive.
It's I believe it's the only version that is this type of origin. And it also like sucks in comparison. Like it gets bitch slapped by Godzilla in the first half of the movie. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to necessarily like use the Heisei era Ghidorah as an example of what he's capable of.
But even then, it's like even when he's like kind of can resist, but still they can like point him at something, but not like fully control him. They're using science. This is dragon magic, so that proves he is being able to be influenced. And I would imagine the dragon magic is much more powerful than alien science.
Well, Chad, they do say that magic is just science that is not understood, or whatever.
Get out of here.
I like how you said that dragon magic thing, like it's an established precept. Like Ben, I'm pretty sure that dragon magic is stronger than alien science. Like, come on,
right? Come on.
So just to be the voice of reason here for a little bit, since it is a 2v1, are we seeing like any evidence that Ghidorah has any sort of like mental strength, like mental fortitude, or are they just like animals? I get that, but like he's being controlled by tech, and we're talking about whether tech or dragon magic can take control of him. But like, what's his resistance to any of that? Like, does he have faculties? Do any of those heads have faculties? Like, what's going on between those?
They have mouths? Like, I'm pretty sure they're smarter than humans. Like, they just don't speak, but they're like they are sentient. They are like well established. Let me actually look. I'm curious.
Yeah, because like I mean, I can say because Deathwing's powerful enough to control like an entire whole entire group court on near like what do you go? I guess you get like a castle's full of people,
right? With mind control magic, right? Like charm effects and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, he can totally seduce Ghidorah. Well, the other thing too, we can talk about the demon soul, the dragon soul. He doesn't have that at the end. That becomes like the whole like crux of everything is basically somebody breaks in. I'm just gonna very quickly. Somebody breaks in, steals it from him, from his lair, and then they like through things happening for a bunch of magic that prevent him from being able to use it again. Him specifically. But the dragon / demon soul is like incredibly powerful. And because it's not only it's like all of the dragon aspects power plus like his magic that he can use and amplify. And so like he could instantly immobilize Ghidorah if he had access to the dream and dragon soul.
Ghidorah has mind control too. He has a hypnosis beam that he can project from his eyes.
Oh, I don't know about that one. That's a new one for me.
Rebirth of Mothra 3. I heard was a bad movie.
Yeah, okay. So I've never seen these. There's a Mothra trilogy where Ghidorah is the main villain. They're like
I really want to watch them at some point.
2 versions of Ghidorah.
Get high and watch.
Jesus.
Yes, one of them that is a very magic-centric trilogy as far as I'm aware. And it's also more shonen, like that version of Mothra gets like new super forms and stuff throughout it. In order to battle Ghidorah. That version of Ghidorah fights like 20 Mothras, I think. In the past, and is able to just bitch slap him. They cannot kill him, so they have to like seal him within the planet. And then he comes out, but he's not at full power. So the main Mothra in the present has to like I think they actually have to go back in time to stop him because it's still not capable of defeating him.
He has like force fields too, and like Rainbow Mothra is like really crazy powerful. I've heard. He has hurricane wings
Rainbow Mothra
with his wings. Rainbow
yes,
Mothra.
There are lots of different Mothras. Mothra Leo is the main one from that one.
Yeah,
there's
Mothra
a lot of
Leo
different
is
Mothras.
the son of the original Mothra. The idea is that like she
Sure.
gave birth to like the strong, like the really strong Mothra called Mothra Leo, and Rainbow Mothra is some fucker. I don't know.
Wait,
and he has teleportation and a force field
who took over
too?
the mind control. Who's Kevin? Is there a Mothra Kevin?
I said what did I say? I said Mothra Leo and Mothra and Rainbow Mothra.
Mothra
Kevin.
Is that a thing? Please tell me there's a Mothra Kevin. Oh gosh. Grand King Ghidorah, different species. Yeah, so that I did want to touch on that because I've or elaborate on that because I've touched on it a little bit. So I've mentioned how there are multiple different versions of Ghidorah. And I've kind of been mixing and matching a few of them. Generally speaking, I've been trying to stick to like the main like Showa era. But there's just way more stuff going on with other Ghidorahs. Like in the Showa era, the Ghidorah just basically shows up 3 times to blow up Earth and gets chased away or his shit kicked in by 40 other monsters.
I mean, like the Heisei Ghidorah is pretty much the same idea. Like they're all Ghidorah. The MonsterVerse one's Ghidorah. The only one that isn't is the anime one, the recent 3D anime one, where he's like a higher dimensional, like Lovecraftian space monster. It has like 1,000-mile long tentacle heads. That's clearly different.
So good. There are several versions of Ghidorah that are said to be able to evolve, right? Like the one from GMK is said to have originally had like 8 heads, and then it's only powerful enough to have 3 when it's awoken. So I think to a certain extent, all the Ghidorahs are meant to be the similar type of species, just different versions of the species. Except for the one in the anime, which is literally God. Like an entity that can, I was looking at it. I mean, if we want to include this, I would be totally happy to. But according to Versus Battles Wiki, this Ghidorah, upon his awakening, Ghidorah was capable of illuminating a dark universe. He can devour everything in the universe, which includes neutron stars, and can manipulate a 4-dimensional framework using super gravity. Not normal gravity.
Super gravity.
Oh, hell yeah. Super gravity just dropped.
It was stated to be upper dimensional, able to distort time and space and destroy the universe. So there's that version.
He's also intangible. Like Godzilla couldn't hurt him until they did a thing where like they made him tangible, but like Godzilla was like swiping through him and just not doing anything.
Yeah,
he was still hurting Godzilla.
It's not the normal Ghidorah. It's more like this like celestial entity thing that just takes the form of golden dragon heads. But yeah, I still think leaning on the Gigan scaling with the like travel between the nebula, making them thousands, if not millions of times faster than light. The ability to destroy planets effortlessly. There's something that I came across with like another a show or something like that. What is it? You had mentioned too, Liam. The Zone Fighter.
Zone Fighter, yeah.
Which is massively faster than light, like supporting the idea that it can just move and fight with such incredible speed that I don't think Deathwing will be able to keep up with. Even if Deathwing and Ghidorah's strength are comparable, which I guess could be possible, I don't think there's anything Deathwing has that could keep up with it. Like Deathwing is going to start casting a spell, and Ghidorah's just going to be in his face, ripping him apart instantly.
But the thing is, ripping him apart, he's going to get fucked up because blood bad. Deathwing blood bad. Like it's going to be corrupting him, poisoning him, making him explode, burning him.
You said a nuclear. It's basically like nuclear explosions, right?
That's just one thing. So the little globules, they can do lots of different things, and so there's also the tendrils and 2 different types of tendrils. There's the grasping and burning, and then there's the corruption ones. So like what? Anything that gets exposed, any wound.
But Chad, is any of this like stronger than a nuclear warhead?
Or I'll just even add on top of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess.
Are we talking about nukes as in like the radiation that like?
All I can give you is it's literally called nuclear blast, and it does a huge thing. It's not like in World of Warcraft.
If it's an actual nuclear blast, it's just going to power up Ghidorah.
Yeah.
But It's Ghidorah.
But
if it's
so
a nuclear blast, it's not going to do anything to him because it's very specific that anything that even close to like human-made weaponry can't hurt these guys.
Yeah. No, I got you.
They can't do it.
But so I'm not just saying it's not like he gets a wound and then everything just starts lots of explosions. Like it's just like there's like a million different things. Like you start burning, you start getting poisoned, then other things are exploding. Like so it's a lot more like Deathwing's blood is very bad. And unless you have a magical ability to purge yourself of it, the poison will kill you.
Deathwing's blood is very bad to Joe Schmo and Leroy Jenkins running around in the battlefield. But to Ghidorah, nah, man. Just gonna take that shit. Just gonna push through it. They'll be fine.
Okay. So if we're trying to say that it has the concussive force of a nuclear blast, like that has to be in some way comparable to how like Godzilla's slapping this guy around. Like I'm sure like Godzilla's throwing like haymakers that are that hard, right? I'm imagining, right? And then on top of
you can survive a black hole, so like nuclear blasts aren't gonna matter much at all. They're like a fraction of a
Godzilla fights don't make a lot of sense when you bring this analysis to it, because like theoretically, in order for Godzilla to punch Ghidorah, he'd have to be punching with enough force to like shatter a continent. So no.
Robert Kelly, if Deathwing exploded, would that kill Ghidorah? Entirely possible.
What do you mean by exploded?
I think he just mean like I don't know, just like him getting like if we're like the more blood that's getting on you, it's bad.
If all of his blood exploded at once to be like 500 billion nukes, that might be able to do it.
And then what's left?
Okay. But before we move on, I think we can go ahead and get the poll up.
No, actually, while you're doing that, I'm going to teach you how to protect yourself with ExpressVPN. Hey,
exactly. Interesting.
Because this episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Going online without ExpressVPN is like using your smartphone without a protective case. Most of the time, you'll probably be fine, but all it takes is one accidental drop onto solid concrete to make you wish you had protected yourself. That's what ExpressVPN is for, keeping you protected. But unlike a phone, which you can replace, it's a little harder to replace your own personal information. Every time you connect to an unencrypted network, like in cafes, hotels, airports, and so on, your online data is not secured. Any hacker on the same network as you can gain access and steal your personal info. Anything from emails and passwords to financial data. And your info is valuable, right? Literally, hackers can make some serious cash selling your data. But ExpressVPN makes keeping your information safe easier than ever. It creates an encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet to keep hackers out. It works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, etc. And it's easy to use. Just fire up the app, tap one button, and boom, you're secure. Easy as that. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/dbc and get 3 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/dbc. Again, expressvpn.com/dbc. Thank you, ExpressVPN. They've been a long-time sponsor. We gush about them all the time. You should be using a VPN, and please make it be ExpressVPN because they've supported us for a long time. And like I said, it's super easy. Just a click of a button. Thanks, ExpressVPN.
Thank you, ExpressVPN.
Okay, I have 2 things I want to add real quick.
I also have something I want to add before the poll goes up.
One of them, I'm not entirely sure what the source of this is, so I'm going to be looking into it. But the first one is, I've seen a couple people in the chat mention this as well, that Ghidorah should be star level. That is correct. So I've been talking about planets and whatnot. The thing is, the aliens that initially were like controlling or aiming Ghidorah, they mentioned that they have that Ghidorah is the most powerful thing they have, like their most powerful weapon, essentially. These guys have missiles that can destroy stars. So if logically speaking, Ghidorah has to be able to destroy stars as well, or more. That, and again, that's Showa era, like earlier era version Ghidorah. Also, this is the one that I don't know where the source is, but I guess it makes some sense. There's some claims that the gravity beams can bypass durability, which means all those weird scales and magic won't matter. Gravity beams will just go right through it and just take them out. It'll be fine.
There's like a statement that says it destroys their opponent's gravity. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I also who knows? And then you're like,
yeah, that's what I was asking before. Like, what the hell is the gravity beam?
Well, actually, it wouldn't matter. That wouldn't matter to Deathwing. He has magic. He can fly via magic. So he can just counter that. I have two points to make. So first of all, you've got this guy. Will you show image 2? Right? Versus this guy. Come on!
All right.
One looks way cooler. Like, look at that.
Okay, hang on.
2.
Hang on.
That's a good
Hang
point.
on.
I did never consider that.
Hang on. I have a counter to that. Let me send that in.
The cool factor.
I'm gonna put this in the chat.
So Deathwing,
please
inarguably way
this.
cooler than King Ghidorah. 2, Deathwing has the ability to turn himself into a human, right? What's stopping Deathwing from trying to get himself eaten? And then once he's inside Ghidorah, boom, turn into a dragon and explode him from the inside.
Oh my!
You can even
mind control him.
You can even mind control him to then eat him and swallow without chewing, and then boom, dragon, explode from the inside.
Ghidorah can regenerate from a single drop of blood.
Ghidorah can regenerate from a single drop of blood?
Though it does take time.
Yeah, how long does that take? Yeah, no, that counts
or maybe
as a win
bones.
still.
It might be his bones that he regenerated from.
That'd be a win in that scenario.
I mean,
wouldn't King
Ghidorah
Ghidorah's
doesn't
durability
eat people though?
Wouldn't King Ghidorah's durability mean that he would just Deathwing would crush himself inside of his stomach against the walls of his stomach? You can survive like a black hole. These are characters that can survive black holes that bend space and shit. Then he would just like grow and then break all of his bones against Ghidorah's the inside of his stomach.
That was a concern of mine too.
Let's go ahead and bring that image up real quick. So, you know, Deathwing might be epic, but Ghidorah is fucking Satan.
Oh, for a second I thought you'd be like, well, Ghidorah has religion on his side.
Has the power.
No, he's here to burn religion and everybody else down. He is the anti-Christ, anti-monster, everything.
I don't know. It seems like you had to pull real far back to make him look cool. Mine was right up there.
Yeah, get up in there. Let's see what he's hiding.
Yeah, but yours is also just confusing. Like I couldn't tell where the head was or the legs were. I don't know. At least Ghidorah's got some very clear like symmetry going on there.
Well, this has gotten stupid.
The only thing we didn't really talk about was height, because like it's really hard.
Okay, how big is Deathwing?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Is like it's really hard to find like canon source for like how tall Deathwing is because they don't like give you the thing. But somebody they measured players that they knew height of to like size of armor plate, then used the armor plates and like stacked it all up to get him at like 1,087 feet, which is I believe twice the size of Ghidorah.
Probably depends which version of Ghidorah.
Entirely, yeah. Okay. If it's the Godzilla universe, yes, there's a million different versions.
I think the tallest version of Ghidorah is around 500 feet.
Yeah, so he's about twice the size. Deathwing big. Deathwing real big.
Okay, I mean, it doesn't really matter when Ghidorah is like a million times faster than him. Like that just means that it's actually going to be harder for him to hit Ghidorah. So.
But if you hit Deathwing, you get hurt.
We got to get that poll up because I don't think it's up just yet. Get these votes going. But this is, I think this could be a really cool death battle.
Yeah, for sure.
I do. So I'm still not entirely sure how to narrow it down to which version of Ghidorah, because again, there's all these different eras, and some of them are similar, and some of them are wildly different. But it does seem like, to a certain extent, a lot of the main ones have, are at least comparable to what I've been talking about. But that there might be some weirdness there. So in an actual death battle, I don't know if we would necessarily cover every single Ghidorah, but I don't know. We might. It depends what you guys would think. All right, let's go ahead and get the poll up and also start getting these community answers up. So we're going to start with the answers that you guys gave us when we posted this on our YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and bring up the first community answer.
Let's see. This one from Geo. I'm going with Ghidorah on this one. He's been shown to be able to lift life wipe entire planets, leaving them devastated for the rest of time. He's also been said to be an alien race's most destructive weapon in their arsenal when they have a huge stock of nukes that can destroy planets. Got it? So stuff we covered.
Yep. Good stuff to cover.
Loving
All right.
it.
Let's bring up the second answer.
From Remerster, Deathwing is capable of destroying all of Azeroth. A Titan, Sargeras, considered stronger than himself. Other Titans like Argus can destroy universes. Oh shit. Alex Traza, his equal, was also capable of arriving at the Dragon Isle in seconds of its location being revealed to the world. I'm sure Ghidorah is strong, but Deathwing is about to bring the end of his world. Here's the thing. Scaling was hard for me because like I'm a huge WoW fan of the game, but not the lore. Like I just never got into it. So like all the research I had to do was be like looking into all this stuff, right? Like real good at playing the game. So if anybody's like, I meant to preface this in the beginning, but like any WoW like lore nerds that could scale like to a Titan and then they know how powerful they are. Sorry, that's just not in my
sounds like an
repertoire.
Excuse to me.
And it's a shit. No, I'm just letting them know if anybody has like things that weren't represented that they wanted to see.
Sounds like an excuse to me.
I was 2v1ing, so fuck you. That's an excuse if you want to hear
Sounds
one.
like an excuse to
Yeah,
me.
that one is. Yeah.
Okay. All right, the poll is still being worked on, I guess.
Do I need to do it?
So,
I got it. I'll do it.
Poll.
Yeah, let's get that poll up so that you guys can vote.
Poll.
It's coming. It's coming. Yes, Black Swords have been more like 3v1. Haha, that's true. There's 3 Ghidorahs.
How do you spell Ghidorah?
Guess. No. I want you to guess. I want you to guess.
No!
Just type what you think it is.
The hard part.
Type what you think it is.
All right, if it's misspelled, there you go.
G-I-D.
I want to see what you typed.
O-R-A.
Ghidorah the
Explorer.
Is that really it?
Has anyone ever done that?
Why did you do that with Deathwing?
Oh, here's the thing. Every time I type death, I start capitalizing because of the death battle branch.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
So I fuck this up all the time that if anything starts with death, I auto caps it and I don't think about it. And I realized right after I sent that, I was like, what?
That's the wrong vibe.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Kevin is the fan name of the left Ghidorah head, isn't it? I think that's why people keep bringing up
Kevin. I was
Kevin.
wondering why Kevin kept coming up in the chat.
That's what it is, because there's fan names for each head. I can't remember what they all are, but there's that one meme that's got the two serious heads and the one that's kind of derpy. I'm pretty sure the idea it's because in the Monsterverse movie, each head has a different personality, and the third one seems like kind of confused all the time, I think.
Yeah.
Wait.
I think that's in a lot of the movies. It just kind of goes,
In the first one movie, all the heads look confused because they're all just like dangling on wires.
That's right.
That meme is about Ghidorah. I've loved that meme for years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You learn something every day.
So, who wins this? Deathwing, Ghidorah, or Kevin?
Well, that's not fair.
It's time
Everyone's
to
gonna
get
vote Kevin
to the polls. So we're going to start with the community page poll that you guys voted on before the show started. Let's go ahead and bring that up. See what the first vote is. Oh,
good God.
85% goes to Ghidorah for the first vote.
All right.
So pretty solid there. All right.
Come on, chat. You won't let me down. Right.
All right. Let's get to our votes, starting with my apparently cohort in this. Liam, you're voting for Ghidorah, right? Liam?
I'm going to vote. For Deathwing.
What?
Whoa.
What? Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, you.
Oh.
Okay. There we go. That's all is right in the world. All right. It's 2 votes for Ghidorah. Embu, who are you voting for?
It hurts. It really hurts. It cuts me deep to see the only character I was actually familiar with going into this DB cast lose so poorly. But I want to continue a trend of being integral and honest in terms of who is the best winner. And I don't do pity votes here at Death Battle Cast, so I got to give it to Ghidorah.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Wow, called it a pity vote. Oh my God! All right, that's 3 for Ghidorah. Can we get a Ghidorah sweep? Let's go ahead and wrap up the live chat poll. We got several hundred votes in already, and let's see who wins. Well, we know who wins, obviously, but let's see if it's the biggest win we could possibly have. Sweep.
There it
is.
Let's
bring it up.
Yikes.
And the winner is... Bringing it up. Here we go.
Maybe.
It's happening.
Here we go.
I'll snip it, I guess. Let's go. I don't know. Here we go.
Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on, but all right, I'll just say it. Okay.
I saw it.
The percentages are 73% for the winner, and the 73% of the votes go to
Kevin,
and the rest of Ghidorah. Kevin sweep.
Boo.
Oh my God! If we do this fight, I definitely want to lean into the Kevin thing. That's great. I totally missed that until the very end of the show, but man, that's fun. What are the other names? Do the other heads have names? There it is.
There's the
vote. Chat, do the other heads have names? Do you guys know? Because is it like Kevin, George, and like Bill? Like, what's going on with the names, or is it just the one head? I'm very curious. All right. Well,
hey, you know what, Ben, I wanted to show you something real quick because I just realized this, and this is really weird. So this is like Dragon Week, because like we had our dragon battle, right? But then also I took Kira out to the store yesterday, and I was gonna buy some Pokemon cards, and the weirdest thing happened. Every single Brilliant Stars hanger they had has a Charizard art on it. There were no other ones, so I was like, "Crap, fuck it, I'll buy them all for a live stream." So. I'm feeling good. I may have lost here, but I'll win in the cards.
When are you opening those?
I don't know. Stay tuned to social media. But I'll see if I can get another one of these guys. Anyway.
Ooh.
Itchy Knee and San, Kevin.
San,
okay, so there's Japanese names, but then one just became Kevin.
1, 2, and 3.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 1, 2. Got it. Okay, they're literally named 1, 2, and 3 in Japanese, but we lovingly call number 3 Kevin.
All the people Charizard is a dragon. He can use dragon moves, close enough.
He's a His dragon. Mega Evolution's a dragon. It's fine.
He's a dragon.
He gets there.
Yeah, he eventually gets to dragon. They couldn't put that many dragon types in the first game, guys. It was supposed to be the boss. All right, that was fun. I love this. The idea of this death battle. Let us know if you guys want to see it as well. Until next time, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome. We'll see you next week. Take care.